Jackson State put a beat down. I don't think anybody saw, well, except Neely from the pregame show, saw was going to happen on Alabama A&M on their homecoming. I'm going to talk about it right after the bumper. What's good people? Jeff Lights Jr. here with the Black Boss Channel and Victory Formation. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell because we upload every single day. Now, the Jackson State Tigers are 4-1, and boy, do they look as good as ever after their throttling, just straight destroying of of the Alabama A&M Bulldogs, 61-15. Let's just read off some of the stats. Shedeur Sanders, 17-24, 249 yards through the air with 4 touchdowns. Santee Marshall had 12 carries, 123 yards. That's 10 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Shedeur also averaged 9 yards a carry, 54 yards on 6 carries. And the Tigers scored 4 rushing touchdowns to go with Shedeur's 4 passing touchdowns. Oh, and by the way, the defense only had 10 sacks, led by Aubrey Miller, who had 2, not to mention James Houston's strip sack that went for another touchdown. So Jackson State scored 9 touchdowns on the day to go with 10 sacks and a defensive touchdown while only holding Alabama A&M to 15 points. Their all-world quarterback, Aqeel Glass, who had some turnover issues against Grambling. He didn't have any interceptions. He had 4 picks last week against Grambling. He only didn't have any interceptions. He just got sacked 8 times. He got sacked 8 times. His backup got sacked 2 more times. His numbers, if you really look at them, 26 of 40, 293 through the air, 2 touchdowns. It's not bad. The only problem is they were losing the whole time. So a lot of those stats are a little padded because when you're losing, 33-7 at halftime, or you lose 61-15 at the end of the game, those passing numbers can be a little inflated. But when you get sacked 8 times or 10 times for the game, that's not inflated at all. This is the Jackson State team we've been waiting to see all year. This is the Jackson State team I think we will see moving forward. When they were winning those games against Florida A&M 7-6, or even though it was 38-16 against Tennessee State, it was close. And then, only scoring 1 touchdown against UL Monroe and a close game after being up really big against Delta State, Jackson State made a change on the offensive side of the ball. They promoted wide receiver coach T.C. Taylor to call the plays. They allowed him to, so they took away the play calling duties from Jason Phillips and gave them to the wide receiver coach, T.C. Taylor, and it looks like it made a difference. It seemed like every single thing that Jackson State called against Alabama A&M worked. It worked, and Jackson State is now on their revenge tour through the SWAC. Remember, Alabama A&M got the best of them last year during the spring season. Next is Alabama State for their homecoming. They got the best of them during the spring season. So Jackson State is on a bit of a revenge tour, and then later in the season, they'll have Southern, who also beat them during the spring season, and Alcorn, who didn't play in the spring but was one of the favorites coming into this season in the SWAC. So it's going to be interesting to watch Jackson State moving forward. Can this offense, because here's the thing, we've known from week 1 this defense was elite. Niles Gaddy, Aubrey Miller, Keontae Hampton, those guys, James Houston, who's probably SWAC Defensive Player of the Year right now, I'd say. All those guys are studs. Nugget, Shiloh Sanders in the back end. These guys are Cam. These guys are amazing. These guys are dope. These guys are played their lights out. So we knew that defense was going to be able to travel. It was whether the offense could catch up to the defense. Well, now with T.C. Taylor calling the plays, it looks like the offense has finally caught up. You don't drop 61 points by accident. You don't have the day Shedeur Sanders had by accident. You don't have the day that Santee Marshall had by accident. They came out there on a mission, and they know what they can do now. They've been told what they should do and what they should be able to do by their coaches, by the fans, by social media, by everyone. But offensively, I'm going to say. But they hadn't put it together for a full game. They had not put together a a game offensively where they did what everybody expected them to do. And one of those things, like Coach Prime says all the time, is we want to make sure every light on the scoreboard works. They hadn't done that offensively. Not since Deion Sanders has been there, right? Not even this year with Shedeur Sanders as the starting quarterback. But this game, they put it together. And so now they know what their offense looks like when it's clicking on all cylinders. There's no reason to go back now. There's no reason to go back. We know that defense travels. That defense has been the top in the SWAC from the beginning. And it's not by surprise they went out there and got 10 sacks. 10 sacks is a lot. That might have been a bit of a surprise. But I would have booked 6 or 7 before the game. But now the offense is, not only do they just they know okay, if we put it together, we can do this. No, they've seen it now. And normally it's like when a shark tastes blood, or when a beast tastes blood, it's like, I want it now. I want it. I don't want to let that go. This offense now knows the potential can be fulfilled. They've done it. And that, my friends, is very, very scary for the rest of the SWAC moving forward. The fact that Shedeur Sanders knows that his players can make these plays and they can do them consistently. The fact that Warren Newman is still the most talented punt returner in all of college football. The fact that the running game is now getting some life with J.D. Martin being implemented into the running game now, and Santee Marshall doing what I always knew he could do with the speed. The speed that they need, no offense to Pickett, but they need some speed back there in the running back position, and they got it. The fact that Shedeur Sanders is now actually being mobile, a dual threat quarterback, running some. This is the offense we always wanted to see. Because like I said, that defense is going to be lights out no matter who you put in front of them. With that pass rush, they have the best pass rush in the SWAC. It's bar none. They have the best linebacking core in the SWAC. Keontae Miller, reigning Defensive Player of the Year from the SWAC. Keontae Hampton, Aubrey Miller, division, Missouri transfer, probably Defensive Player of the Year as of right now in the SWAC. Him or James Houston down on the defensive line, the converted linebacker, with Niles Gaddy, who was just a quarterback nightmare. Nugget Warren and Shiloh Sanders in the back end, with Cam Glizzy back there as well. This team is special. This team has a lot of special parts and continue to be special. I cannot wait to see what they do, because they're on a revenge tour, right? They're on a revenge tour. They've got Alabama State, who beat them during the spring season, up next. And Alabama State is coming to this game looking really, really good. Coming to the game off of a win from Arkansas Pine Bluff after they got embarrassed. So Alabama State got embarrassed by Florida A&M on October 2nd. They got beat 28-0. That's just kind of embarrassing. But they've beat Bethune-Cookman. They beat Arkansas Pine Bluff. And they know that they can beat Jackson State, at least in their mind. They beat them during the spring. This is a different team. This is not the team you played during the spring. So what Jackson State will be able to do offensively, because I know what they're going to do defensively. If that offense can stay consistent, especially for a homecoming game, Jackson State's going to be a problem for everybody the rest of the way. Leave your thoughts in the chat. Leave your thoughts in the comments on Jackson State and what you think they'll be able to do. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at JLighty7. I have conversations like this all the time. And on Facebook, it's Jeff Lighty Sports on Facebook. That is Jeff Lighty Sports on Facebook. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button on your way out, and I will see you next time. Peace.